everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today is all about the TBR Jar game that I play each month. Over the months of June and December we don't play, so we're now heading into July on a month that I haven't played. I have missed the game, and in May I did not complete the TBR Jar. Actually I did, so let's watch me proceed to punish myself for no reason. So if you're new here, this is a game that I simply play each month to guide my reading experience. I am not a mood reader. I struggle when I don't have direction, so having some prompts to sort of guide what I read helps me out a great deal. So that is why I play this game, and my best friend also uses this jar, but she hasn't for a while, and we were down to 7 prompts left in the jar, and I did think about pulling those out this month, though a couple of them are specifically for her. So I thought, since July is the reset of the game, we've had our break over June, that I would reset the jar entirely. All the prompts are back in here and we're ready to go. The rules are as follows. I pull out 5 every month and I try to complete all 5 prompts. If I do, great. If I don't, well, there's a slight punishment and it means I draw out an extra prompt the following month. In May I did not complete that, so I need to draw out 6 for the month of July. However, I am going to do this a little bit differently this month. So if you're new here, you wouldn't notice that I have been quite delayed in my posting of videos and also what I read. I've had a really bad slumpy month over June. I've barely read anything, and I do think partially that's down to not having any prompts to rely on, but also because life has been incredibly difficult and keeping me hectic. So I'm going to give it a go over July. We're still in a hectic season, and see if I can have a bit more direction in my reading over this month. However, I'm not going to hold myself to a punishment if I don't get it done because of how busy things are. Okay, so let's get into playing the game. I'm going to give this a really good shake, and we'll get our first prompt out for the month. Historical romance. Okay. I think we can work with that. Could it technically be the book that I'm almost finished with that I won't get finished in June? Who knows? No, I wouldn't do that. We will look for an actual historical romance. Actually, I've got one already in mind, so that'll be perfect. Book number 2 is going, prompt number 2 is going to be title/names. So that's like having the word prince or king or something, like a title in the header, or the person's name, like Emily Wilde, kind of thing like that. Prompt number 3 is going to be, once I get my hand out, as you can see I'm in a cast, short book. Perfect. I'm very happy about that. Give another shake. Prompt number 4 is going to be, let's dig deep. Oh, I've grabbed 2. Fantasy. Perfect. We already have 2 on the list. Actually, would that work as a historical romance? No, that's a historical fantasy. Never mind. Talking to myself here. Book number 5. Oh, sorry, I keep saying book. Prompt number 5 is going to be KU/indie book. So I don't actually have KU. That's my best friend who has that. So, and if you don't know what that is, that's Kindle Unlimited. So an indie book. Okay, that will be easy enough to do. I think I have some arcs that are indie, so I can pick up on those. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Woohoo! Okay, let's dig and grab one of these prompts. Oh, my hand's stuck. Okay, we got it. We got it. Oh, we've got 2. What do we do? We'll go with cute cover because I've been mood reading all of June, so it hasn't been going well for me. Right, so these are our prompts. Historical romance, title/name, the short book, fantasy, an indie book, and cute cover. Let me go see what we have and I will be back. Okay, so for historical romance, I'm going to complete The Secret Service of Tea and Treason by 𝓤𝓲𝓭𝓮. I started this at the end of May, and I'm unfortunately only, I want to say like 60% in. I've just not been able to pick it up enough, partially because I'm in a cast and holding a book is difficult, but also it's because I am just busy and I've been doing audiobooks. So this works really well for historical romance, and will also help me finish it in time because we're 3 days away from July starting, and I know I won't finish it this side of the month. Yeah, definitely won't finish it in June. So this is a delightful book. It is following Alice and Daniel. They are both spies and also butler and maid extraordinaire under their agency, and they have been wonderful through the book so far. I am finding this book a little bit not as interesting as the first two, but again, it could be because I'm reading it at a time where I'm hectic. But essentially they are undercover, trying to recover a threat that is on the Queen, and they are infiltrating a pirate get together, and they are pretending to be husband and wife. So it is a marriage of convenience, or a fake marriage of convenience, and I'm really enjoying them. But yeah, not sure if this book will get 5 stars as the other two in this series. This is the third and final book in the Dangerous Damsel series, and I really enjoy the way that this author writes. But I think perhaps it's the time period that I'm reading it in currently for me, not the time period that it's set in, that is making me struggle to pick it up. So definitely going to finish this in July, and that will tick off the historical romance aspect. I was going to pick up an actual full book for it, but let's be gentle to ourselves. If you watched my setup for July, you'll know that I'm incredibly low and struggling to read. So let's go with the easiest ways of feeling like we're being successful without piling it on too heavy. So that's the first book we're going to read. The second book is also another book I'm reading currently, and I'm not very far in. I'm on page 164, and it's 400 and something pages. And this is Nightbirds by Kate J. Armstrong, and I absolutely love this cover. It is beautiful. This is going to work for names from the titles and name prompt, because Nightbirds is what 3 girls that are the main characters in this world get called. They are Nightbirds who have power. Each one of them has a different kind of magic, and when you kiss them, you can be granted a temporary usage of that power. One comes with the ability to disappear or look like someone else entirely. Another one, what are they? I think it's just here really quickly. Oh, by the way, the maps in this, there's more than one. Absolutely fantastic. So you've got the goldfinch, the, I don't even know how to say that, ptarmigan, and the nightingale. They are each different. The goldfinch will help you change your feathers, making you look like someone else. The ptarmigan gives you the gift of camouflage or near invisibility, and the nightingale will let you manipulate someone else's emotions, smoothing them into whatever direction you desire. Absolutely loving this, and it is slow going. It does also swap between 3 point of views in the same chapters at times. So there's 3 girls, Matilde, Saya, and 𝓬𝓱𝓮𝓻. I hope I'm saying that, or 𝓬𝓱𝓮𝓻. I'm really going to be butchering that, I know. And I really like them. They're all very different from each other, and I like their journey so far. This is a high stakes world. It is also historical. It's set in the 1920s, I think, or like jazz age, because that's what it feels like to me, and I'm really enjoying it. We're reading it as a buddy group read at the moment, but I'm behind shock horror. That has been the theme of this entire month of June. So in July I'm going to finish this, and it will be something that I can tick off for, again, titles and names. So the next book is one that you've seen quite a few times if you've watched these videos. I still haven't read it yet. It is Last Violent Call by 𝓤𝓲𝓭𝓮. It is novella. It's a novella series, in the sense of that there's 2 books in here that are both novellas. What would you call that? A short story anthology kind of thing? Not sure. Anyway, this follows in between. It's like the bridge between the ending of these Violent Delights and Foul Lady Fortune in the Secret Shanghai series by this author, and this has two different stories. Like I mentioned, one is following Benedict and Marshall, and the next one is following Juliet and Roma, and they're both following what happens after Our Violent ends. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. I have been putting this off quite a lot this year. Like I mentioned, it has ended up on my TBR a few times. I am currently reading another book by this author. I have her e-arc of her adult debut, Immortal Longings, and I'm finding it quite slow at the moment. So I'm hopeful that maybe building up a bit more on this world will get me reading faster on the other. Who knows? But I really am looking forward to finally seeing what happened after Our Violent ends. And it is a short book, so it will definitely fill the prompt and the space in between and the wait for book 2 in the Foul Lady Fortune duology. The next book is fantasy, and we have book club read, which is Fourth Wing. Sorry about the glare. This is a foil cover, so my camera hates it. This is by Rebecca Yarros, and if you haven't heard about this book, I think you might be living under a rock. I know that sounds quite harsh, but it's honestly everywhere, to the point that I'm actually kind of sick of hearing about it. But this is book club read for To Whatever End, and I'm excited for the dragon aspect of it, but I'm not sure how I feel about the whole series as a whole yet. I've seen a lot of spoilers. I've heard a lot of overhyping of it, and also I know it's a 5-book series, which puts me in the category of being hesitant about it, because not many books can pull off being that long. A series can pull off being that long without dragging or becoming a problem to read through, or just that's my personal experience. So I tend to only read like trilogies, maybe books, series that have about 4 books. We'll see. But I'm hopeful that I will enjoy this. Before the hype got too much, I did have an interest, so we'll just see. I'm one of those types of people that when it gets overhyped, like too hyped up, I won't read it, and I'll put it away for a very long time until it's quietened down. But that doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon, and obviously everyone else in book club wants to read it so badly. So we're going to be doing this one over July, and I'm hopeful to not have any bad experiences with it, but I also am not hopeful about me keeping up with schedule right now. Let's just be realistic with ourselves. If I can get through it throughout the entire month of July, that'll be a win, because it is quite chunky actually. I don't actually know how long it is, and I couldn't tell you what it's about because it's so overhyped that I've just ignored it. Okay, and then the next prompt I have on the list is KU/indie book. I don't have KU like I mentioned, and I am just going to pick an indie book that I have on my Kindle from one of the many days where like stuff your Kindle have occurred, and I've just grabbed a whole bunch of indie books from that. I'll just grab one from that and read it, and I'll let you know about that one in the reading update. And the final one is Cute Cover, and I'm going to go with an e-arc that I have, and that is The Long Game by Elena Armes. This follows Adeline, and she works for a soccer team. I think she is a retired soccer star. No, she's a soccer executive, and she lives by like the perfect routine, and that gets interrupted when a video of her in an altercation with the team's mascot that she works for goes viral, and the owner of the team, it happens to be her dad, and instead of firing her, he sends her away to North Carolina, where she is to help a struggling soccer team there as a way to redeem herself. And there she meets a retired soccer star called Cameron Caldani, and I'm going to guess that because this is a romance, they fall in love. I don't know much more about it. I just know that because I have a partnership with the publisher 𝓤𝓮 in Australia, I like to keep that active with them. And this book came up, I thought it'd be an easy read, and I'm going to give it another go and give this author another go because her last book was not one I enjoyed. And there are 2 more books that I need to share because my TBR is always 8 books long. Let me grab the first monster, which is this one here. Did I just mention about how books that are so overhyped that I try to avoid? Well, I avoided this one for over a year. And unfortunately it ended up being June's book of the month, and unfortunately still I have avoided it again. I've opened it and I've read page 1, and that's as far as I've gotten. It is a very big book, and like I said, I have a cast on, so I haven't really wanted to hold physical books, so I have helped myself out by going to the library and renting out an ebook of it. So hopefully I can get this done in the first half of July, but I'm not going to hold my breath if I don't. That's as simple as it gets. And then the other book, is this month's book of the month, which is The Damned by 𝓤𝓮. This is book 2 in the Beautiful series, and I actually really enjoyed book 1. This is set in New Orleans in a historical setting. I think it's like late 1800s. I actually can't remember, or early 1900s. But it was quite a deadly sort of experience for Celine, who's the main character. She's moved here from France after killing a man and running away, essentially, and she ends up involved in a murder mystery, and also around the supernatural. This is a paranormal historical fantasy, and has werewolves and vampires, I think, from memory. I really enjoyed it. Like I mentioned, I wanted to know what happened next. I've actually got the whole 4 books on my shelf. I think there's 4. There might be 5. I'm hopeful that it will continue on with being as amazing as book 1 was. I'm reading it with a friend who has kindly waited all year for me to get to this point. She knew it was a book of the month for me in July, so she's read The Beautiful this year. And we're going to read this together, and I'm hopeful that it will be a great read for the 2 of us. I would stack all those books in front of you like on here like usual, but they're quite heavy, and so I'm just going to end it here. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this little look at what I'm going to be doing in July. And like I said, I might have 6 prompts on my TBR prompt list, but if I can get through 3 of them, that would be fantastic. That's just going to be enough success for me to feel like I'm getting back on track. And if I can complete 5 of them, then I'll be ecstatic. If I get 6, that'll be just like the cherry on the top of the cake, but I'm not going to be unrealistic and hold myself to anything over the month of July. We'll just see how we go. Like I said, June has been horrifically bad for reading and for time, and I want to see if it was because I didn't have any real direction that I used with the prompts or not. We'll see. You'll see me in some new reading updates soon. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye everyone.